Hi, my name is Nagrim and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are looking at the hierarchy of space. Okay, so over the past few weeks, I've been trying to bring our attention to a phenomenon happening in this present moment, which is that which is the space contained in this present moment. It's an amazing phenomenon. We can talk about it forever because there is always something to talk about. It's a non-ending expression of the creative mind. It is always changing forms, okay, but at the same time, it has the ability to keep a form, to hold a form to an indefinite amount of time. It can do that, even though the forms in it are always changing. Say there is a form in the presence of your awareness, or in the presence of your presence. That is, you are present in the presence of a greater presence in your awareness in this now moment. Okay. All right. So there is this. You are in. You are present, aware, and then I think I lost what I was trying to say. Being that the case, let's return back to the hierarchy of space. Okay. So space has different layers, different. Of course, space itself, the space in the present moment has a structure. It has its own structure. But we'll talk about that later. So let's talk about the hierarchy of space in this video. Okay. So let's imagine space to be a triangle. Okay. So this is a space. And let's imagine that this is an eye looking at it from above. From above. Okay. Now the eye looking at it from above is, we want to try to um, we want to make it more understandable, because the ice that is above it, above the pyramid, is not. It's not that it's above there. It's not that it's above. It's an expression. It's an expression that helps determine the level of space or consciousness that you are, or I am, or anybody is. So this level, this hierarchy that we have here, at the base of the hierarchy is where our um, basic needs fall under. Okay, so the hierarchy here is not different from the hierarchy you find in, um, say, a table of a triangle of enlightenment. Okay, where there is shame, guilt, greed, anger, then desire, then peace, love, joy, and all that. So that's the idea here. Okay. Okay, so if you are going through life and the experiences you have is suffering. Okay, so is suffering, anger, pain. There is somebody always doing something to you. I don't know if you've met people like that. There is always somebody doing something to them. Okay, so those kind of people, they are observing space at the very base level, at the very base level of the um, triangle. Okay, but if your area is worry, anxiety, okay. So those who are on this level, the base level, have very little chance of realizing that that there is a phenomenon going on in their present moment that is the container for all things. Okay, and they lose the magic because they are still deeply involved in the cloud-like activities that goes on, um, what we call mind. Okay, they are still very involved in those activities, those outside activities. Okay, so as you move up the ladder, the space becomes clearer. It becomes clearer. Okay, as soon as you choose to move up the ladder, the space becomes clearer. So maybe above the ladder, suffering, pain, anger, um, fear. Then you move up to worry, anxiety, hopelessness, laziness, etc. Okay, so you go up there. Then when you move up, you have joy, peace, understanding, goodness. So the higher you go up, having those good feelings, the higher it is, or the clearer it is that space becomes. Okay. So at the top of the hierarchy, we have the enlightenment. Okay. So the way this works is that everybody is already here. Everybody is already at the top of the hierarchy of space. Okay. And that's because everybody are already observing the pyramid from this point of view. Okay. So your eyes, as it is in this present moment, your eyes are observing observing space like the structure, like the X structure. So your eyes are observing space like the X structure. Okay. So imagine, okay, the X. Your eyes are looking at from this point. At this point which crosses each other. That's where your eyes are operating from, vibrating from, looking from that point at the invisible vibration in the space in the present moment. Okay. So from okay. So this is how our eyes are observing the emptiness in the present. We are observing it through this symbol, okay, where the eyes is at the middle, and then everything shoots out from there. Okay. So in other words, what that means is that we are looking, as we are moving in reality, we are actually slanted, the way the letters in a book are slanted, so that it can merge with the book. So we are not walking, we are not yet walking in this reality, and it's part of the reasons why we have to move from this realm to the next realm. Because what we are doing here, we are crawling. Okay. Even though we have the assumption that we are walking and we can walk from the house to the shop or whatever it is, the truth is that we've not started walking. We are just crawling from the viewpoint of the collective. Okay. And we've not started talking. We are still murmuring. Okay. So when we start talking, we will start using telepathy for communication. Nobody will have to open their mouths to talk. Your feeling body would give anybody enough information about who you are at any time. Okay. So all right. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this hierarchy system of space is that seeing the space, seeing its emptiness, now that I bring your attention to the space in your present moment, and you're paying attention to seeing the emptiness of the space, you're not going to see any sign or symbol, right? You're not going to see any symbol. Okay. But there will be impressions. Impressions would rest on your intuition, and then you just know. Okay, you just know the truth. All right. So if you want to pay more attention, if you want to enjoy the nature of space, it's an amazing nature. The nature of space is somewhat sexual, but far greater than what sex can produce. is far greater than what sex can produce. Okay, so if there is constant paying attention to this phenomenon, okay, then so many things can be revealed. Okay, so if you notice that you are angry, you are worried, whatever it is that is negative that you are going through, you can simply remember that you are not being in the kingdom of God. You are not spending your time in the house of the Lord. Okay? So that's a religious way to put what I'm trying to explain here. Okay? So at the highest hierarchy is where we see from. Okay, so we ask the question, who is this person seeing? Who is that who is seen from the highest hierarchy, from the highest point? And then another thing is that the person who is seen from that highest point is also the same person seen from every other person's highest point. If awareness is the highest point of the hierarchy of space, that is the person seen right now, that is the highest point, then when you get to the highest point, you expect somebody to be there. But the thing is that when you get there, there is nobody there. It's just void and emptiness. Okay? It's just empty of anything. And this emptiness, they restructure themselves to become better versions of themselves. So there was a time when this version of me had no place for expression. Okay? But now it does. It does have a space for expression. And now that it has come to be, it's not going to go back. It's just going to become more advanced. It's going to become stronger, better. Because the nature of the space in the present moment is intelligence. Is intelligence increases, makes things better as it goes along. So this person observing space from that point um, must be in a type of thought space, in order to be able to be at least to be hovering over this point. Okay, so we want to get to this point, and then we want to spend the rest of our lives hovering over there, hovering over this point. Okay, so the points, these points are very important because they are what keeps the space from being so far away, even though it is extremely close by. Okay, and it is a very sensitive structure of phenomenon. The space is a sensitive structure, such that when you spend your time lost in thought processes, it becomes clouded. The space, it's electric in nature. It's electric in nature, but the amount of thoughts, the amount of thinking that goes on in the awareness, of this guy, causes this place, causes this structure to either be clear or very blurred. Okay, so if the person is spending so much time here, then the structure will be extremely blurred. Okay, So we want our structures to be clean, clear, sharp, right? So we spend our time here seeking, resting, observing. Okay. So if we are seeking enlightenment, if we are seeking enlightenment, understanding, then we have to take these steps up to the eyes. Okay? And we can make judgments based on our progress because the eyes is already everywhere. So whatever it is that the eyes is observing, whatever these eyes are observing, that is where you are on the grand scheme of things. So wherever you are, your eyes will tell you. This eyes is not your physical eyes. It is the eyes of the mind, the one Jesus talked about. Okay? So the eyes will explain, can tell you where you are on the triangle. Because even though it's at the top, even though the eyes is at the top, it's also everywhere else. It's also everywhere else. Okay? And the eyes, the first set of things they perceive are our thoughts. Okay? So they perceive our thoughts. So the eyes perceive our thoughts and perceives our emotions. So the eyes perceive our thoughts and our emotions. So wherever we are operating from, the eyes can tell. Okay? All you have to do is just check the content of your thought processes. When you check the content of your thought processes and it does not align to what you say is your greatest excitement, your greatest desires, then you simply drop them and you move on. Okay. All right. So I hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you.